describing President Trump and his eating habits. RFK Jr. says, quote, "I don't know how he's alive." All right, take a listen. Who has the most unhinged eating habits?
The president. The interesting thing about the president is that he eats really bad food, which is McDonald's, and then, candy and Diet Coke. But he drinks the Diet Coke all times. He has the constitution of a deity. I don't know how he's alive, but he is.
All right, Harriet is out front to tell us something we don't know. The constitution of a deity. Okay.
Wonderful.
Trump's eating habits,
Yeah.
as they were described.
Yeah.
I mean, may not be that different from many Americans. I mean,
I enjoy McDonald's, KFC,
I love
Diet
McDonald's. I like Diet Coke. I like candy. I eat more of them than I should. I mean, right? Don't a lot of people?
Yeah, a lot of people do. But, one of the things that I think is so interesting that has happened over the past few years is, America has an obesity crisis. But in fact, the percentage and the number of Americans who are obese has actually been dropping for the first time in the last 50 years. I mean, just take a look here, obesity in America. Look, 100 million American adults are now obese, but it had risen in the 3-year period from 2016 to 2019 by 12 million, 21 million in the following 3-year period. But look at that, over the last 3 years, in fact, the number of Americans who are obese has actually dropped 4 million folks. They have dropped 4 million folks over the last 3 years.
Which is incredible, and I think anybody can think about why that might be. And so let's talk about GLP.
Yes.
Oprah Winfrey has been open and candid about her use of GLP drugs. I actually remember at the beginning, I'm not going to say she wasn't open about it, but she didn't talk about what she was doing. And now she's saying, look, I want to talk about it because this is a condition, right? People can do something about it. She talks about the shame she had felt beforehand. Here she is this week.
Even when you think you've gotten to your goal weight, it's not the answer because you are what the medications do is manage the set point in your body.
Yes.
And so I was off of the medications all last year, and I gained 20 pounds because I wanted to test it.
All right, so how many people, Americans, now use GLPs?
It's skyrocketed, and that is a big reason why the obesity rate is dropping. It has doubled. It has doubled in just the last year and a half. What are we talking about? We're talking about going from 16 million in mid-2024 to get this 32 million by late 20.
Volume 1580 sound bar V4 series.
Winfrey going on those GLP-1 drugs, and that's a big reason why the obesity rate is dropping.
It's incredible. All right, tell me something I don't know.
I'll tell you something you don't know, and that is that Democrats, Republicans, and independents, all pretty much equally on GLP-1 drugs. President Trump is making a good midterm play by speaking up about GLP-1 drugs and dropping the price of them, because the fact is, it's something that unites Americans in a country that is very much divided.
It's incredible. All right, thank you very much, Harry. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for joining us. AC 360 starts now.
Tonight on 360, more protests and another shooting as the president threatens to invoke the Insurrection Act. And the head of Homeland Security says if you're near an ICE operation, you too can be stopped and asked to prove you're an American. Also tonight, just a day after the president backs away from military action against Iran, another carrier strike group heads toward the region. And Venezuela's opposition leader visits the White House and, like so many others seeking favors, gives the president another gold medal. This time it's a big one, the one he's long pined for, the Nobel Peace Prize. But will giving away the gold get her anything in return? Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the President of the United States threatening to send troops to Minneapolis and his officials scrambling to justify what thousands of federal officers are already doing in the city. It follows a night of unrest after a federal officer shot a man in the leg. According to the Department of Homeland Security, they were trying to arrest him when he violently resisted, helped by two others, DHS says, armed with a snow shovel and broom handle. The attack sent the officer to the hospital and triggered clashes like this one nearby. By this morning, the president was online threatening, in his words, to, quote, institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Now, the Insurrection Act allows the deployment of U.S. military personnel domestically under certain limited circumstances. It was last used, you may remember, during the rioting in Los Angeles in 1992, and as you know, this is not the first time that he's threatened to invoke it.